Hello friends and welcome to day 8 of Crochetmas. We are moving right along in our 10 days of Crochetmas time together. So happy to see a bunch of familiar names and faces over there hanging out in the comments and some new ones. Welcome. So glad you guys could make it. If this is your first time, we give a showing up live bonus every single day. Today's showing up live bonus is at www.acraftyconcept.com/snowman, and you will be able to download the ad-free PDF to make the Santa head gift pocket. This is a paid only feature that you guys get as a free gift for showing up live and hanging out with me and making Crochetmas as fun as it is. So go ahead and open a new window or something. Go to acraftyconcept.com/snowman. Download this PDF, save it to your device, because the moment this live is over, that link will no longer work. It will be broken. It is temporary. So grab it now while the grabbing is good. If you were on the Crochetmas VIP list, then you got your gift pocket product tags this morning in your inbox. You can use those for all of the crafty gift pockets, not just the Santa hats. Santa heads. It tells people what they are, and you can also put the price on them. So super handy for you guys to have, especially if you sell your things at markets. If you are not on the Crochetmas VIP list, you can go to acraftyconcept.com/Crochetmas and sign up now. We will have 2 more days of freebies going in your inbox first thing in the morning around 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have 2 more fun days of crocheting together after today. Let's go ahead and jump right in to the pattern. Hello, hello, hello. Awesome. Oh, grease. Very fun. So today we are making the Santa head gift pocket, but we're going to do a little bit of a twist. We are going to make it jumbo with blanket yarn. And this is a yarn experiment that I will be doing live for all to see because I haven't tested it yet. But in theory, it should work just fine. The yarn that I'm using, yesterday I said I didn't have the label on my skin tone. I do have the label, but it's an orange one, so it might have been discontinued. So I'm not sure if you guys were able to grab some skin tone color blanket yarn or not, but this is the color taupe, and it is Yarn Bee. I believe it's called Snuggle Up or something. It just says Yarn Bee. Maybe the part that says the name was ripped off. Cozy Occasion. If they got rid of this color, they probably have something to replace it. So Yarn Bee Cozy Occasion from Hobby Lobby. And then I will be using white and red. This is a little bit of like a maroony red. I would rather have a brighter red, and I have a bright red, but it was the Bernat Blanket Pet. So it's a little bit thinner, and I was afraid it might distort my Santa head. So I'm just going to use this red and this white. I'm a little nervous I won't have enough, but it's probably more than enough, and I'm probably just be silly to even think that it wouldn't be enough. An optional thing that we could do if you guys wanted to on your end, these 2 rows here are the brim of the hat, and the rest of this is his beard. If you wanted to do the brim of the hat in faux fur yarn to kind of differentiate the hat from the rest of the beard, or vice versa. I don't think the fur looks very beardy, but it might, depending upon the fur that you use. But if you wanted to differentiate the fur from, or the hat from the beard, you could use a faux fur or a different textured yarn if you've got one that's chunky like Bernat Blanket yarn. I think for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use my white Bernat Blanket yarn. But if I ever make another one, I would like to try it with the faux fur for those few rows. This is what it looks like made with worsted weight yarn. So this is I have a ton of gift pocket patterns on my blog. This one's probably my favorite though, because I think the little Santa face is super cute. So this was made with worsted weight yarn. We will be using blanket yarn, so it'll be this, just bigger. And my thought is, 1, bigger gifts, right? Maybe it can hold bigger gifts. But my second thought is maybe it would make a cute little throw pillow, depending upon the size. So we will see that here together. If we do go with a throw pillow, we won't be making it pocket in the back. We'll just making it solid in the back, but we will experiment together as we go. I would also like to show you that Santa heads don't have to be red and white. Look how cute they can be in all these different colors. These, I'm going to be making a garland out of them if I'm able to finish it before Christmas gets here. We shall see. My goal is to attach felt to the back of them so they're not like bent up or nothing, or rolly. Felt on the back of all of them, and then string them on something to make a garland, maybe like a beaded thing. I don't know. We will see. And I will also be using a Pom Maker. This one is number 65, if that means anything to you. And now, just as I said it out loud, I'm not a big fan of making poms with blanket yarn. So we might do it. We might change and do something else. I might just crochet a faux fur pom with white fur like we did in the Santa hat pattern that we did. We made a faux fur pom with our faux fur yarn. I might do that instead because I'm not a big fan of yarn poms made with blanket yarn. I feel like they're really sheddy. I might be overreacting. We might can try it. We will play it by ear and see how she does. Oh, that's a good idea, Lynn. Lynn said that it could hold Christmas jammies if it's big enough. So we will experiment together and then see together how it will turn out. I will be using my 7mm crochet hook. If your tension is really tight, you could go up a little bit bigger if you wanted to. I think this will be fine. I might have chose this hook when I was using the other red yarn because it's thinner. I might go up. Well, if we stuff it, we don't want it to be holy. I'm going to stick with my 7 for now. But I think you could get away with an 8 and it'd probably be fine. And now we're just going to dive in. Oh, before we got started, I was practicing making a mustache out of yarn. So I whipped this up. Blanket yarn is very big. Number 6. Yes, number 6. I whipped this up for anybody who doesn't want to use puff paint to make the mustache. I was just practicing. If I was going to put it on this guy, I would probably use a smaller hook so it's not so chunky compared to his face. But I can try to show you this too if we have time at the end. So if not, I will at least show you the instructions, and hopefully that'll be enough. So I'm going to be looking at this grid the whole time. This is how I make my gift pockets. Everything. This tells me how many stitches that I need. If you prefer, you can look at the instructions that are written out, and it can tell you exactly how many to chain, like number wise. But I've made a lot of these, so hopefully I can do it just by looking at the grid and not get too distracted or messed up. I also have scissors, a tapestry needle, and stitch markers over here. I don't know if I will need stitch markers, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So let's go ahead and grab her, starting with our white yarn. The gray represents the white. We're going to make a slip knot. And we are going to chain 11 because we need 10 little squares. Yeah. So we're going to chain 11. I'm going to set this to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This hook's a little tight. I think I'm going to switch to my my 8, my pink one. It's a little tight. I don't want to cut myself off at the knees when he could be bigger if I use. So I'm going to switch to my 8, my L crochet hook, and do that again. So slip knot, chain 11. 1, 2, 3. That's more comfortable. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're going to skip the chain closest to our hook, and we're going to single crochet 10 back down in the back bumps. If you aren't familiar, so when you're looking at your stitches, here we go, you can see these little V shapes. That is what is, each stitch has like a V. So these are the regular loops that we would go into to place our single crochet. We're going to be going in the back bump. So it's a little hard to see with the blanket yarn, but if you turn your work over, you can see these little horizontal bars. That's the back bump. I'm skipping the back bump closest to my hook, which is this one, and I'm going to go into this one here. And we're going to single crochet 10. Oh, it's kind of hard to see with the, yes, skipping that one, going into this one. And that's where I'm going to place my single crochet. I yarn under. That's just how I taught myself. I will probably say yarn over. See, that's me going under. That's what over looks like. I will probably say yarn over just because that's our lingo for patterns, but you can yarn whichever direction you want. It will not affect this pattern. The only time that it would affect is if it needed to fit like a piece of clothing, then you might need to yarn the way the designer is yarning, or at least do a gauge swatch or something. But for this pattern, I might say yarn over, but I will probably be yarning under most of the time just because I'm faster that way and I'm more comfortable that way. But it will not affect our finished jumbo gift pocket. Okay, and one more. Thank you, Brandy. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Okay, and now we're going to chain one and turn our work. We will be chaining one and turning after each row for this whole pattern. I need my keyboard. Okay. For row 2, we are going to increase in the first stitch. So just 2 single crochets in the same hole. 1 and 2, and then we're going to single crochet all the way down and then increase in the last stitch. We're going to have 12 total single crochets for row 2 because we're doing 2 increases. Is everybody having a lovely Sunday, I hope? Gabe and Ava are outside playing softball. It's in the 50s today, so not so bone-chilling cold. Going to increase here in the last stitch. Again, just 2 single crochets in the same spot. 1 and 2. Excellent. Chain 1 and turn our work. For row 3, we're just going to single crochet 1 time in each stitch all the way down for a total of 12 stitches. I'm a little concerned that this might be too gappy to stuff. Probably should have either used my other hook. I don't know. We can try it out and see. Still a little gappy. But I didn't like how tight it felt with the other hook. Chain 1 and turn our work. For row 4, we're going to increase again. Thank you, Mackenzie. Increase in the first stitch. Then we're going to single crochet down and then increase in the last stitch, going from 12 to 14 stitches. I'm excited to see how this looks when it's finished. Okay, and our last stitch, we're going to increase here. 2 single crochets together. Chain 1 and turn our work. For row 5, we're going to just single crochet 1 time in each stitch all the way down. No increases for row 5. So again, for 14 stitches. This is a very simple pattern. The most difficult part is assembly if you're not familiar with crocheting the raw edge. And it's going to be a little bit hard to see with the blanket yarn too, but we're going to do our best. If it's hard to see to get it right, then it's also hard to see any mistakes. So that's a win-win in my book. Chain 1 and turn our work. Now for row 6, we are going to switch colors here in a second. So we're going to increase with our white and then switch to our skin tone and then increase with our white again over here. So I'm going to bunch off some of my white because if you see, I'll do white here and then skin tone and then white. So I'm going to need another chunk of white for this guy. And then we'll need enough white to go here. And then one of these will be connected to the whole top. I believe it's the original, but I can't remember for sure. So I'm just gonna, I don't know how much to do. Don't have a lot to be wasting it. So I'm gonna bunch off a bunch of this, and I'm just gonna, okay, and then save this side for over here, and then I might have to take it back. And it just gives me more tails to sew in. Okay, so we're gonna start by placing our increase in the first stitch. So 2 single crochets together, 2. Now we're gonna switch to our skin tone color yarn. I recently, when I designed the skeleton Gracie doll, I learned a new way to change colors. It's a little bit hard to see with the blanket yarn, but I'm going to show you anyway. Hopefully you're able to pick up on it. I've been using this method a lot, and I really like it. So I'm going to insert my hook in the V stitch, and then in like the front leg of the stitch. So if it was worsted weight yarn, I don't have a good one that I could show you. But I show it in the skeleton video if you need to check that out. Then we're going to grab the skin tone. Oh, I'm so glad you like it, Deborah. And pull it up through where we just joined with our hook. And then I'm going to single crochet across until I have one left. I will be yarning over this time because I think it's a cleaner look when there's a color change. So where we're going from white to taupe, I'm going to make sure to yarn over. And then if you see over here, this thing, we can just pull that back out. Bob's your uncle. I love it. I use that when I'm crocheting my pillows at nighttime. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen my progress photos and my stories. I use that color changing method. I saw it somewhere on Instagram or TikTok. I can't even remember, but I've been using it ever since, and I really like it. Okay, one more of our taupe, and then, or whatever skin tone you're using, and then we're going to switch back to white. So in that front loop, and then the side of it, not going around the whole thing. It's just the one leg. Then I'm going to grab my white again, trying to keep everything nice and organized over here. And now I'm going to put 2 single crochets in the last stitch for my increase, chain 1, and we're going to turn our work. Okay, so when I turn, I'm going to take all of my colors with me and make sure they're in the right order within that we're going to use so they don't get all twisted up. Now for the next row, we're going to do no more increases. We're going to single crochet 2 whites. So 1 and then 2 in the second one. So 1 and then 1. And then we're going to switch to our skin tone. This is the wrong side of our work. Where the tails are coming out at, that's the wrong side. So I'm going to make sure this stays on the wrong side when I switch colors. Because if not, it'll be pooching out on the right side, and then sewing in my tails might be a little wonky. So keeping everything on the wrong side, single crochet across with our skin tone, and then 2 whites at the end. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so it's 12. 12 with your skin tone. There we go. Then switch back to your white, keeping all of our tails on the wrong side of our work, keeping everything nice and taut. Now we can single crochet 2 more times with our white. 1 and 2. How's everyone doing? Chain 1 and turn our work. We can pull these loops out now, making sure we line up our yarn skeins or skeins or balls or cakes. Okay. We have another row just like that row. So we've got 4 total rows like that where we do 2 whites, 12 skin tone, 2 whites. So 2 more rows just like that. Let's see. I was going to make a, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on TV or if it will, a green Christmas monster gift pocket by following this same pattern and switching colors. I haven't done it yet. Mackenzie's probably on pins and needles because she's been wanting to see that. Maybe, I think I'm just a little intimidated by the faux fur yarn. Maybe I'll just make it with worsted weight yarn. Still be cute in green, I think. Okay. Oh, I'm going to do a yarn over for my color changes. And grab my white. And 2 more single crochets with the white. Chain 1. So the URL for the freebie, Sharon, it's just random. It is not correlated with the pattern that we're working on. Okay, turn our work. 1 more row just like that, where we single crochet 2 times with our white, 12 times with our skin tone, and then 2 more times with our white. I'm loving the size. If he doesn't turn out as big as as big as I would like for a pillow, we could absolutely adjust our grid and make it bigger for pillow purposes. Okay. I'm almost down with my skin tone too, which is good because it's starting to get a little finicky. And last one. Switch to my white, making sure to keep my tails on the wrong side of my work, keeping everything nice and taut. Okay. Boop. And 2 more single crochets with the white. 1 and 2. Chain 1. Now we can pull this tail all the way out. We can go ahead and clip our skin tone color. We are done with that. And then we have 2 rows of white with the same number of stitches, just two rows of them. So we've got 16 stitches in these rows. 2 rows of solid white. We can also cut off our second white that we added. You know what? I'm going to leave it on there for a second because I might grab it instead of using the one that's been cut already. I think it'll be enough though. What size hook are you using? I am using an 8mm. I was going to use a 7, but I changed my mind last minute. And the skin tone is called taupe, in the color taupe, and it's from Hobby Lobby's Yarn Bee. Cozy Occasion is it's just Hobby Lobby's version of blanket yarn. The white and the red, I'm using Bernat blanket yarn, I'm pretty sure. Okay, chain 1 and turn. If I didn't have enough white left, I could just switch colors and pull this guy up and continue with him, but I'm gonna use up all of this first, and then if I need to add again, I will. But I think we're gonna be good. So chain 1 and turn our work. Diane, I can only do that with certain yarns. So blanket yarn, Red Heart Huga fur yarn, Chanel yarn, I can break those ones with my hands, but the rest of them, I need scissors. So it's good and bad, because it's bad if you're using it for a magic circle and then you pull it too tightly and it pops, and that irritates me to death. So sometimes it can be a good thing and sometimes it's not at all. After we see how this guy turns out, all of my gift pockets could be made with blanket yarn. It's opening a whole new world. Okay, so that finishes the white. Now we're going to switch to the red. And we are going, the row starts with red. And it's a decrease. So it's a little bit tricky. We're going to do it together. I'm going to do that last one again to make sure I yarned over. And then, so if you didn't want to use the method we've been using, since it's on the edge, we're going to do a different color changing method. So I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, grab my yarn, pull up a loop, but instead of grabbing and pulling through two, I'm going to drop the white and I'm going to pick up the red. And we're going to finish it here. Okay. That's how we're going to change to red. And then we're going to chain one and just give these a little bit. I'm going to leave this white hanging out because we might need it during assembly. And turn our work. Look how handsome. Little diaper Santa man. Okay. Now we are going to single crochet decrease over the first two stitches. And I'm going to do the invisible decrease. So I'm going to put my hook under the front loop only of that first stitch. So if you're looking at your stitches and we're looking at the V, this is under both loops. We're just going to go under the front loop only. Boop. And then we're going to whip it around and go under the front loop of the next stitch. Just the front loops. Can't do it in slow motion. Okay. Front loop only. Whip it around. Front loop only. And that's where we're going to place our single crochet decrease, making sure to go under all of those loops and finish out the stitch. Then we're going to single crochet across and then decrease over the last two stitches. Again, I am making sure to yarn over. I just think it's cleaner for when you've got a new row of colors here. Let me look back at my decrease. Is looking a little funky. I think we can clean that up with when we sew in our tails. Also, when we join it to the other pieces, you won't be able to tell. So single crochet down. I wonder if the not invisible would be better for blanket yarn. Let's try it on this last decrease. Oh, I love how big it looks. I want to put it on a sweater. Oh, okay. Last two stitches, I'm going to try just a regular decrease where I go into the stitch, grab my yarn, pull up a loop, into the stitch, grab my yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. I think I like that better because that's giving me fits. So I'm going to frog mine and then very quickly fix it. I didn't like how that was looking at all, so I'm just going to straighten it up. Get your act together, my guy. Okay. And switch to red, chain one, turn my work, decrease over the first two stitches, just a regular old decrease. That's a little bit cleaner. It's still a little messy because that's where we changed colors, but you won't be able to see it after assembly. Single crochet down. Also could make like a nice trivet, maybe. If you wanted like a little pot thing, maybe not blanket yarn. Maybe you would need to use trivet safe yarn. Decrease over the last two stitches. And chain one and turn our work. The next row is just one single crochet in each stitch all the way down. Easy peasy. Me too, Leanne. He's looking so cute. I love taking a crochet pattern and trying it in a different yarn. All of them. All of the patterns. It's literally endless crochet fun. Oh, and I have Santa earrings on today. So festive. Oh, sorry. Okay, single crocheting 1 stitch in each spot all the way down. Should be 14 stitches. Okay, chain 1 and turn our work. I went with the 7, Vanessa. I mean the 8 millimeter. I had my 7 here, but I decided to go with the 8. I'm a little worried about him being a little bit gappy because I was thinking maybe we could stuff it. We're just experimenting. Now for the 3rd row with our red, we're going to start with decreases again. So we're going to decrease here, single crochet across, and then decrease along the other side. And I'm just going to stick with a regular old decrease because the invisible decrease was not doing me any favors with the blanket yarn. So just a regular old decrease, single crochet down, and then decrease over the last 2 stitches. This is so much fun. How big he is. I am obsessed with it. Oh no, we got a little bit of a tangle. No time for tangles. No time for tangles. Oh no, okay. Wait, maybe I can pull it. The yarn needs to go through this hole, but I can't because it's too small. Okay, wait. Okay, I need the... Wait. This has got to go through here, but it's going to snap. I can feel it. Don't snap, don't snap. Okay. All the way through. Did we make it? Are we good? Are we done? Oh, okay. Crisis averted. And then once we get to our last 2 stitches, gonna decrease over those guys, chain 1 and turn our work. Now we're gonna single crochet 1 time in each stitch all the way down. I'll tell you how many it is once I get there. Well, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's 12. Yes, 12. 11 and 12. And then the pattern does, chain 1, turn your work. The pattern does tell you very clearly how many to do and all that good stuff. Okay. So we have done 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we're going to decrease over the next 2 stitches for our next row. Decrease. And then we're going to single crochet across. Oh, Vanessa, make it huge. Make it so huge. I want to see what it looks like. And then we are going to decrease over the last 2 stitches. 1 and 2. Chain 1. If yours is bigger than this one, Vanessa, it would definitely make a cute throw pillow for Christmas. Now we're going to single crochet 1 time in each stitch all the way down. Should be 10 this time. Nine and 10. Chain 1 and turn our work. Yes, I would love a pillow. Oh, thank you, Nita. I'm glad you like it. Thanks, Diane. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more rows, and they're all decrease rows. So decrease over the first and last 2 stitches with single crochets in between. Hi, Kathleen. Decrease over the first 2, and then single crochet down. Five and 6, and then decrease over the last 2. Chain 1 and turn our work. Again, decrease row. We're just making the little tip of his Santa hat. Single crochet down. 4 stitches, and then decrease over the last 2. Chain 1 and turn. The next row should have 4, and then the last row only 2 stitches, 2 decrease stitches. So we're going to decrease over the first 2, and then we should have 2 single crochets in the middle, 1 and 2, and then decrease over the last 2. Perfect. Chain 1, turn our work. And then we've got 2 decreases. That's 1. And our second decrease, 2. Now we can tie off, but I'm going to count my rows and make sure I did the correct number. So first row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And let's just go to the pattern instead of counting. Nope. Come on. Yes, 21. Perfect. As you can see, the pattern itself has all the instructions for the individual rows. You can get this for free by going to acraftyconcept.com/snowman. That'll take you directly to the PDF, and you can download it and save it to your device, because as soon as this live is over, that will disappear. Thanks, Diane. My yarn bag at home watching, listening. Oh, Carol, that's okay. He'll be waiting on you whenever you're ready. Okay, let's go. I still don't want to tie off yet. It says tie off. Okay, we're going to tie off. I'll use my scissors. Yeah, we don't use this for assembly, so boop. And pull it through. There we go. Now we are going to make our back pieces. So you can sew in your tails, these ones. Just these ones. I leave the rest of these not sewn in until after assembly, because if you sew them in early, it can make your thing wonky and make it harder to assemble the front and back pieces together. So I am going to, would anybody be opposed for me making this a pillow instead of a pocket? If I made it, so the way the pocket is made, we make 2 pieces for the back, the top and the bottom. So that's the bottom, and then that's the top. Ooh! Bottom, and then top. And then we join them all together in the assembly portion. But I think I want to make this a pillow. So there's no reason to make them separate. So we can follow the exact same pattern that we did for this side, but we don't use our skin tone. So we're going to make this exact same pattern all over again. I'd make it a pillow. Thank you, Diane. Oh, I'm so glad, Maddie. How fun. So let's do this again, and instead of making it a gift pocket, let's go for a pillow. There's the grid for the gift pocket is there, though, if you guys wanted to make yours a gift pocket version. I want to see what it would look like as a pillow. I think it's going to be cute. Let's see. I think it's going to be cute. I mean, it's kind of small, but I think it'd still be pretty cute as a pillow. That just tells me maybe expand a little bit to make it bigger in the future. Maybe in the future we'll make a Santa head pillow pattern on my blog. Diane said solid color for the back piece, and you absolutely could. You could make the whole thing red on the back and not even worry about it, because when we join them together, I use this edge is all that you're going to see when it comes to color changes. So we would change our color for the joining portion, and I will be doing that when I join this guy, but the back can be solid red and it not affect it. I'm just a little concerned I might not have enough red yarn. So I think I'm still going to make my beardy portion. I probably have enough. We'll make it solid red, and then I'll use the white during assembly when I crochet the pieces together. So this is going to be a little bit faster because it's the exact same thing. Just actually, if I don't do solid red, it would help me keep up with my rows. I think it'd be fine. We're going to do solid red. Okay. Oh, that's not the right size. Slip knot. Then we're going to chain 11. No trouble. Darn autocorrect is a monster. It's kid size huggable. Yes. I'm giggling. No trouble getting pattern today. Oh, okay. Chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then single crochet back down for 10 in the back bump. And we did this slower at the beginning of the video. So if you missed it, the replay will be available. And then hopefully, also, you're welcome to go at your own pace. And then if you just finish after I finish, there's no problem in that either. I didn't count. This feels a little small, so I'm going to count it to make sure it's 10. Chain 1 and turn. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good to go. Okay. Now we're going to increase to 12. So increasing in the first stitch, 2 single crochets together, then single crochet down and increase in the last stitch. I made a sample tree for tomorrow's pattern, which we decided to change to a Christmas tree, crochet Christmas tree. Increase in the last stitch, chain 1, turn our work. Turned out really cute. I used velvet yarn, but tomorrow I won't be using velvet yarn. Now we're just going to single crochet 1 time in each stitch all the way down. Tomorrow I will use a yarn that is easier to see on camera, so probably just worsted weight yarn, or like maybe a little funky, but not super funky, so you guys can see it on camera really good. But it turned out really cute. Can't wait so you guys can see it. Chain 1, turn our work. For row 4, right? 1, 2, 3, yeah. For row 4, we're going to increase in the first stitch, 2 single crochets, and then single crochet down. That's okay, Kathleen. What has been your all's favorite Crochetmas pattern so far? We're going to increase in the last stitch. We have made Crafty Boho Santa hats. We have made the little hamster plushie. Now we're going to, for row 5, we're going to single crochet 1 time in each stitch all the way down. We made the slug plushie, the soap sack, the keychain, chapstick keychain, the hand sanitizer keychain. Is that everything? Did I miss anything? Oh, the Gracie doll dress. The holiday Gracie doll dress. Boho Santa hat. Chain 1 and turn our work. Lynn, are you talking about Santa hats too? Wow, everybody's loving the Santa hat. That's an oldie. 2019, I think. Now for row 6, we're going to increase again in the first stitch, and then single crochet across, and then increase in the last stitch. And that is going to bring us to 16, which is the widest part of our gift pocket here. Then we're going to increase in the last stitch. I did enjoy the hat as well. Hat, soap, sack, saver, and looking forward to the tree. Well, if you guys love the hat, you're going to love the tree. It's the same pattern. Just use single crochets instead of half double crochets. Chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to single crochet 1 time in each stitch. Again for 16. I think we'll have 2, 3, 6, 5 more rows. Let's see. We're on this one. 1, 2. So there'll be 4 more after this before we start our decreases. One time in each stitch. Chain 1 and turn. Cheryl says, ask me again tomorrow. She thinks the tree will be her favorite. It turned out very cute. Santa hat, slug, and the sanitizer keychain. Great. work gift. Ooh, yes. Ashley, I've got something important to say. You should be very proud. You're a delight. Each and every one, new or longtime friends and followers are. You're very kind, Kathleen. Thank you. That was a kind thing to say. Okay. Chain one and turn our work. Again, for one single crochet in each stitch all the way down. And then I think we have one more row doing this after this one, and then we'll start our decreases. I love the Santa head too, Diane. I think it's just so cute and festive. I might need to figure out how to make an elf on the shelf style gift pocket head. I think, is it Sister Stitch Co. that has, somebody has an elf on a shelf themed crochet pattern made with blanket yarn, and I love it. Chain one and turn. Let's just double count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So two more rows of 16. Thanks, Diane. I'm glad you like it. Hi, is it Alma? I will do the Santa head as a pillow and change the color to make. Oh, I love it. Oh, gosh. Kathleen, you're so kind. You're very kind, lady. Thank you. Chain one and turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, last one before we start our decreases. And don't worry, I do have another small ball of this yarn here. But I think she's gonna make it. I did go to Michael's today after church to grab some more white, just to be sure I had plenty, and they did not have it. They had antique white, I think, or vintage white is what it was called, and therefore it was cream. And I didn't buy that. I wanted just plain old white. And I could have went to Walmart, but I didn't have enough time to go to all of the stores. I chose Michael's, and I chose wrong. Okay, now for the next row is our first decrease row. So we're going to decrease over the first 2 stitches. I'm going to show you one more time how to do. We're not doing the invisible decrease because it doesn't do us any favors with this pattern and this yarn. So we're just doing a regular decrease where we go into the stitch, the first stitch, grab our yarn, pull up a loop, go into the second stitch, grab our yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on our hook. It doesn't matter if you yarn over or under, the finished piece will still be the same. And then we're going to single crochet down until we have 2 left, and then we're going to decrease over those last 2. One more. Blanket yarn's easier to see the stitches than faux fur yarn is. Decrease over these last 2 stitches. Chain 1 and turn. Now we are going to single crochet 1 time in each stitch all the way down. Should be for 14 stitches. I wonder if I can, wait. Nope, I can't. Gabe and Ava bought some new juice last week when they went grocery shopping, and I think it's Ocean Spray brand. It is cranberry and watermelon. It is heavenly. It is so good. Cranberry, he bought 3 bottles of it this time, 3 big old jugs, because it is delicious. And somehow, magically, it doesn't give me heartburn. Everything gives me heartburn. If I bend over forward, I get heartburn. Or if I smell something offensive, like a strong smelling can, I get heartburn. Just all the time. It's been that way my whole life. Now we have a decrease row. So decrease over the first 2 stitches, single crochet down, and then decrease over the last 2 stitches. Oh, guys, you could also use jumbo blanket yarn to make just the regular egg, which was the original gift pocket pattern, was an egg for Easter. You could make a jumbo egg. Okay, chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to single crochet 1 time in each stitch all the way down. It's very good. Diane, I'm a pretty picky gal. Like, I don't like, if it doesn't taste good, I won't eat it or drink it. And I'm not very adventurous. I've gotten a little bit more adventurous the older that I got, but nothing too crazy. And this is heavenly. I love cranberry flavored things and I love watermelon flavored things. And I would have never thought to mix them either, but it is very good. Chain 1 and turn our work. Now we have a decrease row. So we're going to decrease over the first 2, then single crochet down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then decrease over the last 2 stitches. And then that should tell me which row I'm on. Chain 1 and turn our work. Let's see, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now we have 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way down. And then we have our 4 decrease rows, and then we're done. So 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way down. Can you say the brand it is for this yarn? Oh, I think it's Ocean Spray for the juice. Ocean something. It's like kids juice, but it's very good. Decrease over the first 2 stitches. Single crochet down. And then decrease over the last 2 stitches. Chain 1, turn our work. Decrease again. Over the first 2, single crochet down. 4 stitches, then decrease over the last 2. 2 more rows. Chain 1, turn, decrease. Single crochet 2 times. 1 and 2, and then we have a decrease. Look how close we're getting. Should be plenty. Decrease here, chain 1 and turn, and then we just have 2 decreases. That's 1, and this is 2. Okay, I'm going to just pull up a loop. I'm not chaining right now. I might chain later. They're a little egg shape, solid color egg shape. It's a little pointy. The actual egg pattern doesn't have that last row. That's for Santa specifically because his hat's a little pointy. Now we are going to, I think I'm going to add my face features to the front piece. So I'm going to embroider the nose. I'm trying to decide. Let's make our crocheted mustache. Normally I just use puff paint for the sake of ease and time, but it's very difficult for me to get it symmetrical with the puff paint. So and I need to show you how to do a crocheted one anyway. So we're going to make our crocheted little beard that I literally designed while waiting for this live to start. And I don't know how it's going to turn out with blanket yarn. If you want to take a screenshot of my scratch, this is it. That's what we're going to be following here. Now we are going to put 8 half double crochets into a magic circle. So, and I don't love doing the magic circle with the blanket yarn, but we're going to do it as gently as we can. If you don't like it, you can do the chain 2 method. Chain 2, that is not, actually just chain 1. There we go. Now we're going to place 8 half double crochets into the magic circle. So yarn over or under, into the magic circle, grab your yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over or under, pull through all 3. That's a half double crochet. I know it's hard to see with the blanket yarn. 2, we're doing 8 of them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then we're going to close our magic circle very gently. Very gently. Please don't pop. Oh, it's going to pop. I can feel it. Oh, there we go. There we go. Join into the top of our first half double crochet. Okay, now we're going to chain 5. Okay, my yarn's in the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, this is going to be the left side of his mustache. The right side, we'll do this part a little different. Somehow it worked. Now, with blanket yarn, you might not be able to tell. You could just flip it and it'd be fine. You can still kind of tell, though, the difference between the right and wrong side. So I'll just show you what I figured out, and we'll try as we go. We're going to start by placing a slip stitch in that chain back bump closest to our hook. It's a little difficult to do because it's so close to your hook and it's blanket yarn. But we're going to, there. So I'm going into the back bump of the very first back bump closest to my hook. And I'm going to place a slip stitch there. And then we're going to do a single crochet in the next back bump. My back bump has disappeared. I'm going to go down there and get it. There. That's where I'm going to place the single crochet. And then we're going to do a half double crochet in the next back bump. Right there. A half double crochet in the next back bump. Right there. And then a double crochet in the last back bump. So we're going to yarn over, insert into our back bump. Grab our yarn, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. That's our double crochet. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches on our magic circle. The one that we're coming out of, that's 1. And then the next one is 2. 1, 2. And we're going to place a slip stitch down here in this third one over. My second one is huge for some reason. But that's the third one. That's where we're going to join or slip stitch. So keep everything nice and taut. Grab your yarn. Pull it through all the way. Now, let's take a look. This is the left side. Oh, see how it's pointing this direction? If we made another one and then we just went like this, it's down. I mean, you could go up or down, whichever one you want, but we need them to be mirrored. And if we just laid it over, it's the back of your stitches versus the front of your stitches. So I'm going to show you that what I did. Have you ever thought of making bowl cozies? Oh, for my yarn? Bowl cozy, like for soup? Hi, Peggy. Welcome. Oh, Kathleen was holding her breath. The magic circle with the blanket yarn is risky business. So now we can tie off for this guy. And we're going to make the second one. And we need him to lay the other way. And I think I figured it out. I'm just going to pull this all the way out instead of joining in just for the sake of bulk. But this one is, you can see it's curving this direction. I like for my mustache to curve up a little bit. So I'm going to put it on the left-hand side. If you want your mustache to curve down, this can be your right-hand side mustache piece. But we're going to set this one aside and we're going to do it again for our second one. Magic circle with 8 half double crochets in the magic circle. Then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can use this mustache for the worsted weight version with just your worsted weight yarn. Now I'm going to close this circle. Kathleen, Cross your fingers for me. Okay, we're good. She's behaving. Join into the top of our first half double crochet. That's not it. That's the chain. It's right here, buddy. What I need is for Clover Company to design some of their Clover More hooks in bigger sizes. This size specifically, because I do not like finagling with the plastic. The Clover More is like an aluminum, and the yarn just glides over it like it's not even there. But with this plastic, I'm wrestling with my yarn. So we're going to join there, making sure everything's nice and tight. I feel like I got a little loose. Okay. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when we made the one side, we went in the back bumps of our chain. For the other side, we're going to go into the V stitches. And it's going to be a little hard to see, but I'm hoping it makes sense. So the V shape that is made when you make your chain, that's where we're going to insert our hook this time. Not in the back bump, but in the front V stitches. And the most difficult one is the very first one because of it's so close to the hook and it's blanket yarn. But I'm going into the V stitch, and I loosened my tension just so I could get in there. But I'm going to tighten her back up, and that's where I'm going to place my slip stitch. Boop and boop. Okay. That's one. Now we're going to single crochet in the next one. I can't tell. Yeah, that's the bottom. We're going to single crochet in the next one under both of the V loops. Ugh. Get on there. There. That's where we're going to place our single crochet. And then our half double crochet is the next 2 V's. I cannot do it. Okay, I'm going to try again. It's really hard to see with blanket yarn. I'm going to try to do it again where I'm not teaching as I'm going and I just do it. That helps a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the way around here is where my slip stitch is going to go. Good in there. Yes. Slip stitch. Okay. The next one here is my single crochet. Okay. And then the next one, if it's gonna work with me, will be a half double crochet. I think we're good. Half double crochet. And then another half double crochet. Get in there. Get in there. Okay. Yes. And then a double crochet in the last chain V stitch of the chain. Boop. And where's the other half? Blanket yarn is good and also bad. Okay, missed it. Okay, wait. Okay. The last one, buddy. Just last one. Bear with me. I don't even know if that's the right spot. It might be the back bump. I think it is the back bump. Let's see what happens. Okay, double crochet. 1 and 2. Now, this is the back of my magic circle. That's not what we want. We want it on the front. Yeah, it's working. See, now it's tilting up. I don't know why it works. I haven't had enough time to look at it and think about it, but it does. So we are going to, looking at the right side of our circle, skip 2, not that one where I came out of, not this one, and then go into the third one and join. Okay. And that's the second side of our mustache. So whether you want it to face up or down, you need mirror image of it. That first little slip stitch is a weird looking little thing, but it does the job. So I'm going to cut my yarn, leaving a decent sized tail because I want to potentially join these two guys together, my two ends. Yay! Thank you, Kathleen. We did it. Okay. Now, we're going to sew in the tails around the magic circle portion first. And then my original thought was to just glue them onto it for the sake of ease and time. So I'm just taking this tail under those magic circle stitches to kind of reinforce it and to hide the tail at the same time. Two birds. Okay. Can cut that one off. Then I'm going to do the same for the other side's magic circle first. I did. Okay. This one was a little short. Okay. Boop. Okay. Now we can cut that one off. Now, if you want to join your two sides of your mustache together, it's weird they're coming off of different ends, but it makes sense. We did it. I mean, we got it symmetrical. You can use this one of these two tails. You don't need both of them. So let's sew in this one to get it out of the way. Also, for this tail, be mindful that you are putting it in the direction it needs to go. When it's like, don't sew it in this way. It's going to make it clumpy. I'm going to sew it in going in this direction because that's the direction it needs to be laying in order for my mustache to be nice and clean. Okay. And then the other one we can use to join them together. If you're gluing them, you could just glue them next to each other and call it a day. But I joined these two and it worked pretty good. So I'll show you one more time. So again, I'm going to first start by taking it where the direction it needs to be going in. So it's nice and clean. So that would be this way. Okay. And then I'm going to take my mustache pieces. Another thing that you could do if they weren't going in opposite directions, you could, hi Maisie and Lenny. You could probably block them in the shape you wanted them to go in. If you had time for all that goodness. So I'm looking at the backs now. And I just, for when I did it with the worsted weight before the live, I just kind of went through, it's technically like, I think it's called the camel hump. But if you're looking at my magic circle, here's my V stitches. That's the tops of my stitches. But then I have all these things hanging out back here. That's where I joined them. That way the stitches weren't touched. It was just the backs of them. So I'm just getting my tail in the right spot. And then I'm going to go under this, because that's not a part of the V. That's just the back. And then this one. And I'm just kind of joining them together so they stay next to each other. It does not have to be perfect. It is not going to be seen at all. So however you find your spots to join them, it really doesn't matter, especially with blanket yarn. But even with the worsted weight yarn, you really can't see too much of what's happening here. So pull those tight. And then our mustache is connected to one another. If you wanted to, you could come up because it's a little bit like, I'm going to go one more time. I think that'll help. So we're coming out, so we'll go on this side. Pull it through. And then I guess maybe this one here. Oop, okay. That might be too many. Yeah, that guy's not going to work because you can see it, You can see it coming out past the little mustache roundy bits. So that's going to be my last there. Yeah, even that last one is cutting it close. So if you wanted to come up this way and then cross over that way just one time, you could. I don't think it's necessary. So I'm going to leave this tail for now, just in case we decide to sew it onto our face. I think that's what I'm going to do instead of glue. I'm just going to sew it on. Yeah, okay, so Peggy said it's the third loop of the half double crochet. Some people call it the camel hump. I really like going in that loop. I think it adds some pretty texture when you're crocheting, but for hiding your sewing togetherness, it works well. So I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to do our nose very quickly because we're already past our hour. Hour and a half is as far as I try to go. 2 hours is the absolute farthest I want to go. So I'm going to give myself a decent sized tail. A decent sized piece of scrap yarn for the color of the skin tone. And that's where I'm going to embroider the little button nose. It's literally just in and out over and over with a tapestry needle. So choose where you want your little button nose to go. I'm going to go right here, like on kind of this row 3, I reckon, of the 1, 2, 3. And then try to center it as best I can. Coming up from the back, pulling through, leaving a tail long enough to sew in on the back, and then coming across to right here. Now this is going to be a little bit difficult because blanket yarn doesn't have as many threads as worsted weight yarn does. So it's easy to find new spots to put your your needle. But with blanket yarn, there's less spots because it's more like one big thing instead of lots of things twisted together. So I'm going to do that for a few more times, coming up from this side here and then whipping it around to that side over there, trying to keep my tails in check on the back while I'm working so they don't get carried away. It would be nice if they were already sewn in, but you know how that goes. Okay, back into this side here. Boop. And you just do that until your little nose is as thick and poochy-outy as you'd like. You know what? I wonder if we could put, you know what, Mackenzie? This is where we turn after each row. We could probably make one of these stitches in the middle. It's not a middle stitch. That's why. There's not one middle stitch. The middle is split by 2 stitches. I was going to say, I wonder if we could just do a bobble stitch there next time. Then you'd have a perfectly bobbled nose, but it wouldn't be centered. You'd have to redo it, add a whole nother row of, is that off center? It is. Listen, we ain't got time to fix it today, but it is off center. It needs to go this way a little bit more. But there's nothing I can do about it today. That's just how it's going to be. Okay. All the way through. Keeping my tails clean. I'm also not having the tightest tension. I'm trying to keep it a little bit loose so it can like pile up on itself. I want it to be poochy-outy. I think I'll do one more after this. Okay. Need to be pulling it this way. Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. I mean, it's not unbelievably off center, but it is off center. I can tell. You guys are probably like, it's unbelievably off center. What happened? Some people's noses are off center. That's true. What happened? I don't know what's happening. Mackenzie, hopefully everything's fine. Okay, and then back down here. Trying to keep this clean. It is not staying clean. Just a little bit of a tug. Okay. Just gotta kind of put them where you want them to end up. Okay. It's not perfect, but we're gonna go with it for the sake of time. I would like to do one more. Okay. If these would just stay out of my way, it would be a lot easier. These are the problem. I'm gonna do one more. Which way is it coming from? This way. So I'm gonna go right here. Okay. And last one here. Perfect. Perfect little button nose off center. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Nice. Now we can tie off back here. And where this is going to be a pillow instead of a gift pocket, I am not sewing in these tails. They are going to live back here because nobody's going to see it. Nobody's going to get in there. These are being tied together just for the sake of cleanliness. Not hard because it will pucker real bad. Just cleaning it up. And then these two, not the edge ones, just the ones that are on the inside of the edges. Because I ain't fooling with it. I don't think we're going to have time to make our pom-pom either. Okay. Let's join this puppy together. Actually, we probably should sew on our little mustache first. Let's sew on our little mustache first. I like mine pointing up. You could also do pointing down if you wanted to. His mustache is very chunky. Part of me wants to wait. I'm going to do the mustache last. No, because then, yeah. We're going to play it by ear. Because I don't want it to interfere with the assembly. I need to be able to get to these stitches easily. We could just go like this. We'll be fine. So we'll go ahead and sew it in now. And I'm just going to tack it. It is not going to be the most secure, best sewing that I've ever done. It is just going to be efficient. So I'm putting my needle right. That's just because of where it's coming out at when I join them together. I'm just going to go into the head. And then line her up. And then back out to the mustache again. So I'm going to go approximately right here. And then pop it. Yes, making sure to grab my mustache. There we go. Ah! Okay. Now, if you wanted to make it more secure, you could just go through I could come up in this stitch here and then go back down in the one next to it. And if I went around, you'd be able to see it. It's like a whip stitch. So I'm just going to go into this one here and then back down into the head. Right where it lines up. I'm not going to force it to go any other spots. It's going to try to stay where it's lining up naturally. But I would rather use puff paint, honestly. So I'm going to come all the way down here now. And then I'm going to go back into the one next to it and into the head. And then I'm going to come out on the other side of the mustache. I'm going to go through the stitches here. And then down next to it. And then I'm going to come across all the way over to this side of the mustache. All the way over. And then down next to it again. Trying to make it shapely and as centered as I can. Okay, that'll work. If it aggravates us, we can glue it down later. So I'm going to, I would just tie it, but I don't have tail because it was attached to the mustache to begin with. So get all of my not mustache tails out of the way. I'm going to knot this guy because he's going to live back here now. And, oh, sorry, Lord have mercy. Sheesh. And then one more just so it's extra secure. You could definitely secure your mustache more than that if you wanted to. And I'm just going to go under those stitches just so my knot lays nicely. And that one's done. Okay. Now we're going to do assembly. Oh, look how cute. I love his little mustache. So to do our assembly, we are going to single crochet our front piece and our back pieces together. I'm going to zoom out. Oh, I did get the slug done, Kathleen. I've made 2 of them. I gave the little one to Ava, but here's the big one. I posted on Instagram yesterday. Went with some sleepy eyes with the puff paint. Okay. We will be crocheting with red until we get to this portion. Then I'm going to go white all the way around and then pick up some more red on the other side. If we had left this starting tail very long, we could have used it for this portion. I always forget to do that. I need to make a note on the pattern. This doesn't need to be so long. We're not going to be able to use, unless I can't go down this side of the hat because then it would be backwards. Like it would be the back of my stitches. I have to go down this side of the hat. Unless I made him, no, it still won't work. Okay. So I'm going to just cut this so it's not so long, easier to fool with. And I will have my white next to me because I will be switching to white and then back to red again. So we're going to start with the red in the back piece. And if you can remember, we did not chain. I'm going to go ahead and chain in a minute. So now we are going in the raw side of our work. Can't see my face. So it's a little bit hard to know where to put your stitches. If you followed this pattern previously before today, I talk about bars and holes. This is how I line up when I do in the raw, bars and holes. I'm not going to be able to show you that with blanket yarn. If you want to go back and watch the pattern that goes with this video, Mackenzie can grab a link for you. There's a video pattern for it. I'm going to go into this stitch, grab my loop that's still in my working yarn, pull it through, and then I'm going to chain 1 to secure it. I am going to try to know how many stitches I need based on my grid, but I'm not going to bar and hole it because I'm not going to be able to see good enough, and I definitely wouldn't be able to, it wouldn't show up on camera. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 single crochets with our red before we switch to our white, if everything is lined up properly. And I will be yarning over for the sake of cleanliness. So that's 1. And we are going on the raw side, so we're making spots up to go. Get in there. I do explain this in detail in the video. Here comes 2. Then this is 3. We're just crocheting him together. 4. Yeah. It would also be a little bit easier to line him up if I had used white on the back. 5. But if it's hard for me to see it, then it's also hard to see mistakes. So you really can't mess it up. Just making sure everything is lining up, you're good to go. if you didn't want to change to white and just make the whole thing red, you could probably get away with that. I think that's 6. I like the look of switching. Another thing that you could do is you could single crochet it together on the wrong side and then flip it right side out and then try to find a way to seam that last little bit. If you don't like the look of the single crochet border on the outside, that's an option as well. Some of the gift pockets are made, I think it's the frog. The frog is made not this way, like the way it's assembled. So if you wanted to check that out and get another thought for doing the assembly portion, you could. Okay, and I lost count, but it really doesn't matter. It just matters that everything lines up with the edging, like the beard and stuff. So let's do one more here. I think that was more than 10, but I'm not lining it up stitch by stitch like I normally am when it's not with blanket yarn. This is when I'm going to switch to my white, making sure everything is in the direction it ought to be. Get these things out of my way. Grab my white and switch colors. Then single crocheting with my white all the way around to the other side of the hat. So all the way to here. First one can be a little finicky after a color change. Here we go. I do like the bar and hole method for when I'm paying very close attention. So definitely check that out if you aren't familiar. It makes a big difference for if people who don't like winging it. And sometimes I like winging it and sometimes I don't. I am pretty sure I'm off with my rows, but I don't think you would be able to tell. Well, let's see. Okay. Just single crocheting it together. Trying to go not around an entire stitch, but like through one of the legs or something, because if I go around the whole thing, I feel like it's going to make it a little bit gappy. And it might not be great from a polyfill. I hate that this one's taking so long. I started it earlier and everything. I wonder, I guess my chit-chatting. Oh, Kathleen, they should be in a playlist already. I know that Crochetmas 23 and 22 are in their own playlist. If these aren't in a playlist yet, we can absolutely do that. They might not have let us pick a playlist because we scheduled them in advance. So maybe that's why. What in the world? Get in there. Okay, get in there. Yes. We're almost to the bottom portion, which is going to be a little bit easier because you can actually see the stitches for 10 stitches at least. And then one more. Somehow got lined up again. That's a blessing. And I'm getting hot from these lights. But don't worry, my nose is still ice cold because that makes sense. So weird. Okay, now I'm going to pull this tail to the inside of my pillow so I don't have to sew it in later. And we're going to single crochet across. I think in the original pattern, we put 2 here on the edges for the sake of roundingness, 2 or 3. I'm going to go with 2 for now. I think that's plenty. Ugh. Okay, and then we're going to single crochet across the bottom. We are making our way around to the other side, and that's when we're going to grab back to red. Almost done. I love the crocheted mustache. If nothing else, you guys now have that option in your back pocket for the original gift pocket too. The original, this small size. And other gift pockets. We can make a man gift pocket, not Santa, just a regular man. Okay, 2 single crochets are going in this one. I'm going to shove that tail inside the pillow. 1 and 2. Excellent. Now we want to make sure we're not getting conky wampus. So making sure our things are all lined up and nice to go. We'll go back up this side, and then we'll switch to our red to finish her up. I will not be making my pom-pom on camera, but you can make your own with crochet faux fur by following the pattern we did on day 1, or you can just use a faux fur pom if you have one. I might have a white faux fur pom that I could use. Or you could do a yarn pom if you want. I don't like blanket yarn poms. I feel like they're not long lasting. It might look weird to just crochet a blanket yarn ball, but you could probably do that too. Probably would still look fine. Yeah, it doesn't have to be furry to be a hat. I mean, a pom-pom, especially since we didn't use fur on the trim of the hat. It might look a little funny anyway. So it might look better to just crochet a small, like amigurumi style ball with your white blanket yarn. We are almost back to our red. I like how we can just hide everything right in the stitches. Nobody's gonna know. Let's see, it's got at least 2 more with our white. And I am just shoving my tails in. Let's see. Yeah, that's going to be my last white. So I'm going to switch to my red in the middle of this stitch. So I'm going to grab these tails and give them a little gentle tug. Keep it clean, my guy. Keep it clean. We're going to grab this guy and cut this one and finish up. After we get a couple stitches here, we can start stuffing with polyfill. Another thing that I've seen people do is they add little rosy cheeks, like with blush, like makeup, or even crocheted circles. That can be very cute too if you wanted to give your little Santa some rosy cheeks because he's out in the cold all day, working his little heart out. Making sure my perfect. Nice and neat. Get in there. And then I will be hiding these tails into the inside of the body, not sewing them in. This is taking longer than I thought it would. Okay. After this one, we will stuff him with our polyfill. And then see if we can got enough. Yes. Okay. Give him some stuffing. I was taking apart some old whips the other day, so I've got little clumps of polyfill here. These were a Gracie doll arm. It looks a little funny. They were shoved into little Gracie doll arms really tightly, so I made these little nuggets. I don't want to do this, but I have to. Let me just very, very quickly kind of pull these apart. I could just I'll just grab fresh polyfill from my thingy. I'll do this later. Refluff them and then put it back in here. I keep my polyfill in my little ottoman here. When I have more polyfill, it's filled more. See? And I'll just use some of this instead. Okay. Excuse me. Still need to probably break it up, but not as much as I did those tight little baby ones, so. Hi, Kim. Oh, it's a craftyconcept.com/snowman. That's how you get your free showing up live bonus. They are not related to the pattern that we're making. They're just random for the sake of funness. Okay. Might have needed to leave off one more stitch before I started stuffing. It's a little hard to get in there. I want to stuff it real good. Oh, gosh. 134 is how long we've been doing it. So stuff it all the way. And then crochet it all the way. Hide your tails on the inside, and then you're completely done. Well, you gotta add your pom-pom somehow. However you want to do the little white pom on the end of his hat. Okay, I need 6 hands. I think if I had 6 hands, we'd be good shape. I love it. I do love it. I hate that it's taking so long, but I do love it. Been wanting to see how this would look. We're very lucky it looks good because it could have been awful. Okay. Let's see if we can't finish this up. Okay. I think that'll do. All this can get out of the way. We'll give it some schmidgen. Oh, cute. Okay. And then we'll finish single crocheting him up. Then we'll do the rest off camera. Go ahead and grab your showing up live bonus if you haven't already. craftyconcept.com/snowman. Mackenzie can pop it on the screen for you. After the live is over, the link will no longer work. Also, if you are not signed up to the Crochetmas VIP list, you are missing out on all kinds of free things in your inbox every morning. There's 2 days left to grab the freebies. So if you go to craftyconcept.com/crochetmas, Mackenzie's coming in hot with that link, you can sign up to the VIP list and get your hands on the last 2 freebies. Lord have mercy. Get in there. Fixing to break this hook. Get in there. Tomorrow's live is at, I think, 6. Yes. So day 9 and day 10 are both at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will not see you guys until tomorrow night. But then we will be making Christmas trees tomorrow. And then easy peasy lemon squeezy headbands for day 10. That one should be super quick. Okay, I'm back to the top of my hat. So I'm going to put 2 single crochets in each of those stitches, giving me a nice rounded top of his little Santa hat. 1 and 2. Join into the top of my first single crochet and tie off. I will sew in that tail only so it goes in the direction that I want it in, so it's nice and clean. But the rest of them, I'm just going to hide on the inside of the head. I might add some glue to kind of glue down his mustache tippies. Let's switch over so you can see this view. Mackenzie, can you hide that for me, the banner, please? Okay. Isn't he cute? The lighting has gotten worse because the sun went down completely. So, and it's glowing. And I don't know how to fix it. Is that better? I scooted it away. Oh, his little mustache. Also, I don't think my shirt is helping with the drastic color change. I'll show you guys on Instagram after this is over, but I'm going to sew in my tail. This one, I'm going to hide these ones. I can go in and add some little puff paint eyes, little black puff paint eyes to hide or to make it look like he's got little eyes, or you could leave him without eyes if you wanted to. You could also add little rosy cheeks. We've got tons of options that we could do. Thanks for hanging out. I'm sorry it took so long on your Sunday afternoon. I hope you enjoyed it and you enjoy the jumbo gift pockets because I absolutely do. You could do the Christmas light ones. We could change this up by switching the colors. This was very similar to a gnome, if that's your jam. Lots of things that we could do. Also, I think it would be fun like photo prop to make it look like you have Santa head instead of your actual head. This is what the back is looking like, if that was something you were concerned about. The blanket yarn definitely made assembly a little bit of a challenge. The worsted weight, I have a much cleaner method, so check that out on my blog and YouTube channel. Kathleen, we will be sure to create a playlist so you guys can watch these in just letting them go with the flow. I will see you tomorrow, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the, let me show it to you. Tell me this ain't the cutest thing you've ever seen. Isn't that so cute? I mean, it's a little messy in the back, but nobody's going to see the back. Got these little lights from, I think, either Walmart or Hobby Lobby forever ago. But look how fun this is. I used velvet yarn, and then I put cardboard in the bottom so it was a little bit flatter. I'm obsessed with it. So we're making these tomorrow. I want to make a pink one so bad. And then you can decorate them however you want. It's going to be really, really fun. So go tell your friends. I'll see you tomorrow, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a fantastic Sunday night. Talk to you very soon.